Alright. Brother Akihiro here with another glorious wrestling review. This time we're going to be doing WWE SmackDown because we're going to do all of them. And let's see how the show started off. And it started off with a awesome Shield and Triple H segment. Now, if anybody knows me, they know that I'm very high on the Shield. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. I mean, those guys are amazing. They've stepped it up from Ring of Honor. And yes, I was following them years ago, back when two of them were in Ring of Honor. And I was even following Roman Reigns back when he was playing football. So that's how much of a fan I am of these guys. So I'm definitely happy that they're able to bring their energy, their awesomeness, and their craft and step it up to the big stage. Now, with that being said, they cut a really amazing promo here. And at my previous video, I was saying that I was excited how Monday Night Raw went off because the Wyatts came out there and they gave them a legitimate disqualification. Like you saw Roman Reigns was breaking out of the STF. And then, of course, you know, the Wyatts come in and then they messed that up. So I was very excited. I'm like, uh-oh, the Shield's going to have to cut a promo. And sure enough, they come out there and they start cutting the promo. You know, and I see it seems like they're teasing a breakup with the Shield. Or maybe they are, maybe they're not. But you can definitely see that they're starting to make some kind of dissension amongst the group, or at least amongst Dean Ambrose and Mr. Roman Reigns here. And I like how they have Seth Rollins being the intellect, or as they say, the architect of the group, to come in there to try to keep them at bay. But he brought up some good points. Roman Reigns did eliminate the most people out and set a record. And Dean Ambrose is the longest reigning champion that we have thus far. He's held that United States title for quite some time. So I'm glad that he was able to bring them back, refocus the group, and we've got the Wyatts at hand. So I want to see this. I know people like Donnie would have wanted to see this. I want to see the Shield go against the Wyatts. So I think that's just going to be very exciting, and I'm definitely happy to see that. And of course, Mr. Triple H coming out here. I'm not even going to talk about the Vicky Guerrero because she's coming out here and the way she's reading her lines, she's just freaking annoying. Get rid of her. So anyway, she come out here and then Mr. King of Kings, Mr. Kingdom comes out. You don't want to do this. Now, the way he was talking about how you didn't want to do this and whatnot, how that's going to be bad, either he was saying he didn't have faith in the Shield, which I kind of thought was a bit odd considering that they have been his hired gun for the longest, or he's alluding to a fact that I brought up previously, that the Wyatts are now working for Randy Orton and that they could be in Triple H's pocket, which is why he's saying you don't want to do this, just let it go, this can only be bad. And then, of course, you know, Roman Reigns putting the nail in the coffin, you know, Hunter, I don't think you're understanding. We're demanding this. And I'm like, beautiful, it's priceless. I was happy with that segment. No complaints about it. It was something that I had wanted to see from the beginning. So kudos to those guys there for doing that properly. Then, of course, we had Dolph Ziggler versus Antonio Cesaro. And I am really big on Dolph Ziggler. And most of everybody is big on Dolph Ziggler. So once again, we don't have to get into that. And Antonio Cesaro, this is another guy who is up there. Pound for pound, one of the strongest athletes out there. You know, Mr. Claudio Castiglione. I mean, legitimately speaking 5 languages. I mean, his giant swing is amazing. And I've been following this guy for a long time, too. And check out one of his finishing moves called the UFO. Incredible, one of the best finishing moves I have seen in a long time. So the sky's the limit for these two guys should they choose to utilize them. And I'm very excited about this. You know, it's going back and forth, and then, you know, there were some nice counters, like the way Dolph Ziggler countered his giant uppercut into the DDT was very nice. But ultimately, I was very excited to see that Antonio Cesaro went over in this match because he gets to be in an Elimination Chamber match, which we've never seen him in. So that's definitely good. So I'm really excited about that. And anytime we get to see the Cesaro swing is great. But I tell you this, folks, one time Antonio Cesaro did the Cesaro swing for 100 times. The crowd was counting it. I want to see him get a chance to do a spot like that. I think that would be incredibly awesome. Just let this guy shine. So I was excited with the outcome of that. Cesaro goes over, and he gets to be in the Elimination Chamber match. Now up next we had Xavier Woods versus Fandango. Now, I'm big on Xavier Woods. Back when he was Consequences Creed in TNA teaming with Jay Lethal. That's how far it goes back in him. So I was excited to see him on the TV. Now, of course, I'm not all for the shucking and jiving. I really cannot stand the fact that every time we do have some black people on there, they have to be resorted to just singing and singing and dancing and singing and dancing. Even though the guy is going out for a PhD, he's probably one of the smartest people in the WWE since David Otunga legitimately. But all he seems to be able to do, shuck and jive. Anyway, I was excited to see Fandango go over. I'm once again a Fandango fan. Still am a Fandango fan. Not because of a catchy theme song, not because of Summer Rae, just because Johnny Curtis is actually legitimately good. I like his dancing gimmick. I think that's that's pretty cool, you know. So I'm very, very happy for that. Maybe they can do more with you know, Xavier Woods. I almost called him Apollo Creed. But maybe they can do more with him. And it was kind of nice to see that it seemed like they were teasing a feud that maybe Emma, she comes into here and she'll be feuding with Summer Rae, because Summer Rae took her sign and then tore it up, and then Emma, of course, put up another sign. So I was excited to see that, you know, nonetheless. I'm now understanding and watching wrestling for what it is, rather than just critiquing and go, oh, it's this, it's that. I mean, just seeing it for what it is and seeing what creative is putting out and judging it for what's going on here. Now this one, the Primetime Players versus Ryback, or Curtis Axel and Ryback. I mean, I could definitely see what this was, judging by the energy that Titus ONeil had. And this is a good guy here. And I knew that this was straight up a heel turn right here. I could see it from the apparent Darren Young getting beat up. And when he got beat up that fast and Titus ONeil didn't come out, I knew that this was signaling the end of the Primetime Players. So basically, Ryback and Curtis Axel's only purpose out here was to just beat up Darren Young into such a way to set up for this this heel turn, which to me is long overdue, because Titus ONeil, I mean, he has all the tools and there, and just to have a guy like him with all that potential to just be dancing millions of dollars, I mean, this guy can go somewhere. Please stop all of black people just shucking and jiving and dancing, and maybe, just maybe, we can have a dude besides Mark Henry that can actually be a dominant, legitimate heel. So I'm excited about that. I see how they did it with Darren Young. Darren Young is a great technical guy. He's a great John Cena black clone. I like the guy. I don't have a problem with him being gay. That's besides the point. I want to see him focus more on his technical aspect. I want to see him and wrestle more, and let Titus ONeil step out and he can go be a heel dude. And potentially we can work on this guy. And we can get him in there with people like Batista and whatnot, because look at Batista. He's not the best technical dude out there, but look how far he's come, because he has the stature, the height, the size, all of that good stuff. So kudos to Mr. Titus ONeil for making that breakout, and I'd love to see where he goes from here. Then, of course, we have Christian, Mr. One More Chance. I was excited to see Christian come back. I'm not even gonna lie. I was really excited to see him out, and he's still going with that, you know, one more chance. And he went over on Jack Swagger, which was pretty good, because I like Jack Swagger and Christian. So to me, it didn't really matter to me who was gonna win that one. I was excited either way, and I figured Jack Swagger wasn't gonna win, because, you know, he won last year's Elimination Chamber back when he stepped on the scene and they introduced him and Zeb Colton. You know, they repackaged him, all that good stuff. So I figured they would do Christian in there, because he's a crowd favorite, and, you know, he can bring a draw. And this gives him a chance to bring that up one more match. That's all Christian is asking for. So I was excited with that, the energy back and forth. I'm glad to see over. Maybe we can actually do something with him, and he can live up to his potential. And I have to say that I was really, really a fan of the Alexander Rusev promo, because I have always been a fan of, like, the crazy Russians, and I know they kind of lean away from that because of the stigma that Russia is having, so we don't always have those characters anymore, like, say, the Iron Sheik, or you know, Nikolai Volkov, you know, or Vladimir Kozlov, you know. So I'm excited that they may actually bring back a heel Russian guy, and this is a legitimate big heel Russian dude. And the beautiful thing about this guy is that he moves around with such aplomb and such grace. This guy is about my height, 6'3", 300 pounds. And the flip kicks that he does, I mean, it's amazing to see a guy this fast. So I am totally, totally excited to see that they may actually be doing something with him. So kudos to Mr. Rusev. I liked his performance in the Royal Rumble, and I definitely want to see where they're going with this. So very, 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 very excited. And then, of course, we had Damian Sandow versus Kofi Kingston. Now, I am definitely a fan of the Intellectual Savior. I've always been a fan of the Intellectual Savior from the first time I heard his promo talking about he was going to save us from the doldrums of society and then the terribleness and the inequities of the problems that are going on. I mean, like, I knew this was the guy. I was like, this is Lenny Popov reincarnated. I thought it was amazing. I was like, we got Macho Man Brother coming back here, the genius. Oh, this is beautiful here. So anytime I see them not utilizing Mr. Sandow properly, it really, really is sad to me. But then again, I like Kofi Kingston too. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say it again. Kofi Kingston, they need to do something with his character, and it's becoming stale from the bright colors, I mean, to the outfit. I mean, he just needs a repackaging, and here's a guy who is smart, he's intellectual, another dude who has all the tools needed, as you can see from all the various spots and stuff that he does here. Totally amazing, totally awesome. I love the guy here, but this more seemed like a throwaway match, you know, like they just put out here just to fill in some space. So to me, it didn't really matter whether Damian Sandow or Kofi Kingston won. These are two guys who are not getting the just comeuppance that they actually deserve. So I want to see them do more with the two of those guys. My opinion there. Then we had the Road Dogg versus Cody Rhodes. As I have said, I say it again and will keep saying it. I cannot stand the Road Dogg Jesse James or Badass Billy Gunn or Shawn Michaels or X-Pac or Kevin Nash or Triple H or any of those guys. But that doesn't mean that I don't respect the fact of what he does backstage, respect the fact that he is a trainer, respect the fact that he actually legitimately is a good wrestler. So, with that being said, I put all that aside. I watched the match for what it was. I thought it was actually pretty good, and it was nice to see Cody Rhodes go over on the veteran, and that establishes him just a little bit more and shows that he has what it takes and makes this Monday's return match in the steel cage that much more believable. So I was excited with this, and anytime anybody gets to beat Road Dogg Jesse James, I'm throwing my hands up in the air in a very celebratory fashion. So I'm totally okay with that. Very, very happy. Please, no more Road Dogg. Hopefully they'll lose the belt, but I don't think they're going to lose the belt, so, you know. Then, of course, we had the Shield versus Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, and Sheamus. By golly gee willikers. And then before that, we have to address the amazing promo that the Wyatts put out. And of course, what made it amazing, I mean, we got to hear Luke Harper actually cut a little something something, and Eric Rowan, you know, to finish it off with the Be Afraid. I mean, I really, really felt that. But when we look at the Shield and we identify the Shield, who has legitimately beaten every team in front of them, and including putting the Undertaker away to the point where they can legitimately lay claim and say it's their yard, I don't see why the Shield has to be afraid, or why the Wyatts feel like they can actually take down these guys. But that's what makes it interesting, you know. So please, I definitely want to see this. The promo was great, and they were talking about you should be careful what you ask for, and this was interesting because they didn't make it like they were going to beat them up. He said, you know, you allow the devil to come in, but you may like it. Now, it almost seemed like the Wyatts are going to try to usurp the Shield into their family, or I don't know, but you never know with this guy, because he's clearly established that he wants more people within the Wyatts, whether it was Kane or Daniel Bryan. He's trying to make his family grow. I don't think he'll be able to get all of the Shield in or anybody in there, but you never know with creative or how they're doing things, so that may be a way. So now moving on to the match itself. I thought the match was fantastic, but any match the Shield is in with Daniel Bryan is going to be freaking amazing. You know what I'm saying? And then of course we got Sheamus coming back, and then we have Rey Mysterio. And I'm not the biggest Rey Mysterio fan, but I'll give the guy the credit where the credit is due. There's the best little dude out there, 5'5" 150 pounds, and he has made it that far. Now, how many people can say that they've pretty much won every belt out there, and they're that small, you know? So definitely props to Rey Mysterio, and of course props to Daniel Bryan and Sheamus. So they went out there and they put on a hell of a show. I mean, there were great spots, there was great moves. I mean, and then just the fact that each time you see these matches, they decide to let Mr. May 28 Seth Rollins go against Mr. May 22nd Daniel Bryan, because the chemistry that those two have. I mean, the sheer technical wrestling moves that they put themselves in. It's mind-boggling that WWE each time just keeps giving them their own spots to where they can do Indian deathlocks. I mean, it's just it's amazing watching Daniel Bryan put Seth Rollins in all of these moves, because they have the capacity to do it. I'm like looking at this and I'm like, this is Ring of Honor on mainstream. This is a beautiful thing here, and I don't know if many people ever pictured that Ring of Honor guys would be closing down a WWE main event, you know? So I'm excited about that. It was really, really, really good match. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited the way that it ended. We had Roman Reigns picking up the win again with the spear, you know? So that was really good. And Mysterio, he took that spear like a champion, you know? So I was, whew, that's great. Yeah, they have such high hopes for them. So I'm excited about that match. I couldn't have asked for anything better in there. Now, was the SmackDown perfect? No, I don't think it was perfect. But I can see that they're attempting to do something with the SmackDown brand, like following the storylines. For example, everybody was, oh, SmackDown's the second stream show. I still believe that to be true. But at least they're continuing to further along storylines. They're actually giving you a reason as the viewers to want to tune into SmackDown and watch it, and not just read the reviews that come out on it after Tuesday night on the Bleacher Report, you know. So I'm very, very glad. I wasn't that disappointed with it. You know, all in all, it was pretty good. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 8, just based on the matches, you know, the quality of it, the fact that they're furthering the storyline along and giving me a reason to is why I rated it so high. Could it have been better? Of course it would. The fact that there was no attention paid to the divas outside of the Funkadactyls and Summer Rae made me so freaking happy. It was ridiculous. But some people may be like, oh, there was no divas there. I personally like the fact that there were no divas there. I was excited with it, very, very happy with it. The only thing I would ask for them to do a little bit more is I enjoy seeing more of the promos or the backstage vignettes. Please do more of that. If this SmackDown is going to be your second stream show, then give these guys a chance to cut all these ridiculous promos. Give them a chance to do that, because after all, the show is taped. So I know from having seen SmackDown Live, they do a lot of the spots over, or they do a lot of the retakes. So with that being said, let these guys come out there and shine. You know, that's what it's used for. So I'm excited about that. They're pushing the stories along here. It was good. It was great, and it makes me look forward to tuning in and seeing Monday Night Raw. So that's my take on it. Enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Please let me know your thoughts, your takes, your perceptions on it. I want to know, where do you all see all these various wrestlers going? Where's the Shield going? Where's the Wyatts going? Where's Daniel Bryan going? No mention of Randy Orton. No John Cena anywhere to be inside. So I want to know what's going on here. Please, your thoughts. That is all. Once again, a glorious review from Brother Akiharo. And I am out. Stay tuned, everybody.